Hello and welcome back to my little video diary. It's the week before the hand-in, so everything's a bit manic this week. I've just been trying to juggle everything and try to keep on top of it. So as always, let's start with DCC. This is my feedback that I got from my chapter plan, which I've not really had a chance to fully implicate just because I only got this yesterday. And also the writing week's coming up, so DCC has been quite sparse this week. So she's thrown a lot of questions at me and I don't know the answers to all of them, so that's going to be fun. And I also went to the session and learnt about Harvard referencing, which I never get right, so it was very useful. And that is DCC done. So, my professional practice, I've updated my CV, and I've done a little portfolio. So here's some of my recent work and some work from last year, and just trying to show how varied I am with what I can do. And what I've done with all this information is I've sent it off to Anne Inc, where I can apply to have an international internship, which I'm not too fussed about, to be honest. I just want to work with them because they're a great company and go well with sort of what I want to do later. So this week I threaded up another loom, only a 6 EPI, well this side's 6, this side's 12, so it didn't take as long. So that was it all wound on, and then that's after I threaded up and tied on. This is the back, just because they're so different, the yarns. This is wool, this is tape yarn, just to try and get different tension on both ones. So once I'd done all that, I had to learn how to use the bonus loom. There's a handout on now, and it was actually quite simple once the threading plan was in there, and I could just click around and sort it out. So this was my threading plan, like a sort of block point, and then just straight, but also it's got some points in on the other side. And I managed to make a sample. This is the sample. I'm sorry that my laptop is so reflective. But this is the sample, and it's like all tape yarn. And it's really nice and pretty. This is what the bonus loom looks like. So it's a really old computer that we're using. So yeah, that's sort of that project. I've started my proformas, just doing the lifting plans. I still need to wash them and finish them. So once I've washed them and finished them, I can do these, which I made myself a 3rd year proforma, because some of the things on the other proforma would be exactly the same throughout the warp, and I thought better not to waste my time and to just do that. Oh yeah, I've started my PowerPoint, Electropics by Ruth Jeffries, and well, there's not much to it so far. This is my primary research. Just some images from Sheffield. That's going to be sketchbook work. I need to scan some in. this is the trend research, which has actually been really helpful. This project, normally I'm not a trend research fan, so quite all with that. That's going to be artist research, that's going to be samples. So lots to do on that, and it's on Wednesday, which is a little bit scary. Okay, so something that you might not have heard me speak about for a long time is the Japanese project, which is still happening. These are some of the images of them dyeing the yarns. And the reason I haven't mentioned it in a while is just simply because I've been busy and we've just been threading up. It's not that being interesting. So I just made this warp, and we've threaded it up now, and I also have got the yarn book, which had all the Uppingham yarns in. See there. I went on to right page. I went on to put the Japanese yarns in here. They still all need labelling. Some are not, but they're in there, sorted out. And I've started a sketchbook for the Japanese project, which is a little bit tentative so far. Like, I tried to get these colours, but they're not exactly right. Just thinking about inks and this whole idea of holiness and architecture, like buildings. I really like this bit. So this was like inspired by an architect, a building of art, a photo of buildings. Sorry, can't talk today. I've also done some yarn wrappings, which I'm going to stick in a bit. So there's one, and they're quite big. They're a good size. There's another one. This one's a bit smaller, just because the warp is thinner, that's all. This one's massive, like the size of my hand. Like that one. People seem to like that one. And then these two little guys. So yeah, that's been really helpful actually. Throwing myself into this project and trying to get all the stuff done. And something very exciting is that I have started I've started the samples. Here we are. This is the first sample of, it's actually the first sample that any of us have made from that warp. So I used sticks, as you can see in the background, to make the gaps, and then I washed it with boiling water, and because the warp is wool, it's like felted together, and so when I took the sticks out, it just stayed in this nice position, and still dripping a bit at the bottom, because I only just did this morning actually. But yeah, really exciting. I use an extra wet pattern to make these little circles. They're sort of like portholes building, I guess. And yeah, I'm really excited to see where that takes me. Just show you some pictures from the Japanese project. This was the Skype that we had this morning. They were really enthusiastic and just excited to see what we'd done. They loved the yarn wrappings. Well, they loved everything that we'd done. And that was at 8:30 this morning, and we're going to be Skyping them again next week. These are all the yarns on cones. Last time you saw them, they were not on cones. Oh, so this is what the sample looked like before on the loom state. And then I brought it home and I washed it in the bath, just like that. And then I got the finished article. So I'm really excited to carry on with this project actually. It should be good. That's all for now. Won't be sleeping much for the next week as Handin rolls around, but yeah, I'm excited about the Japanese project. It's going to be great. It's all going quite well. I'll see you next week. Bye.